Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to look at Dune Part 2. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit the like button and even subscribe if you'd like to. So Dune Part 1 was released in October 2021, adapted from the James Herbert novel of the same name, and originally director Denis Villeneuve planned to have 2 movies, thus splitting the novel into 2 halves. But as you may or may not know, the studio wanted to play it cautious and allowed only one to be made until the box office figures came in. So then when it made just a little over $400 million, bearing in mind it was amidst the pandemic, so it was pretty good figures, and one of the highest grossing movies that year, Warner Brothers gave the go-ahead and the green-lit the project. Now I did notice one thing that Villeneuve did do was to shoot an open ending in Part 1, because obviously he didn't know what was going to happen with regards to a sequel or a Part 2. So props to him for that. The fact that it could have, although it would have been very disappointing, could have been a standalone movie. So after the figures came in, Warner Brothers greenlit the second half thankfully, and so shooting began recently. I think it was on the 17th of this month. So what news, I hear you cry? Well, I found an article here that has a variety of details on locations and some of the cast who are returning and new cast members as we are ushered into the second half of the novel. Now I could speculate on a franchise being built here, because there are in fact 6 novels in the James Herbert series and a few by other authors that followed on from that, so who knows what we can expect. As always, I'll give a shout out to IndieWire for writing this particular article. It goes as follows. Dune Part 2 Guide. Everything to know right now about Denis Villeneuve's sequel. It's no surprise, all signs were pointing to a Dune sequel by the time Denis Villeneuve's adaptation of Frank Herbert's novel opened in US theatres. Warner Brothers CEO Ann Sarnoff all but confirmed a follow-up movie on October 21st, the day before film's opening. On October 26th came official confirmation from Legendary Entertainment and Warner Brothers that Dune Part 2 was officially a go. As Villeneuve himself announced in a statement, just received news from Legendary that we are officially moving forward with Dune Part 2. It was a dream of mine to adapt Frank Herbert's Dune, and I have the fans, the cast and crew, Legendary and Warner Brothers to thank for supporting the dream. This is only the beginning. If that's Villeneuve saying that this is only the beginning, then we are looking at a strong chance that he intends to follow up with more novels from the Herbert series. So where does Dune franchise go from here? Below, IndieWire has rounded up all the major details we know about Dune Part 2 right now. What? Fucking who writes this absolute drivel? The rundown below will be updated as more news breaks related to the Dune sequel are released. Right, okay. Fucking English, man. Okay, so we've got an official synopsis. Teases a choice between love and death. Here we go. The official synopsis from Warner Brothers and Legendary reads, this follow-up film will explore the mythic journey of Paul Atreides as he unites with Chani and the Fremen while on a warpath of revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the known universe, he endeavours to prevent a terrible future only he can foresee. So Warner Brothers revealed on Monday, July the 18th that July 18th that production on Dune Part 2 is officially underway. The movie is shooting in Budapest, Hungary, where Part 1 was shot as well. The shoot will next head to Italy. Shut up, man! The shoot will next head to Italy. I think they're also going to shoot in Dubai, I read somewhere. I like the fact that they're actually using locations instead of a lot of green screen. Anyway, Suella Yacoub joins the cast. Suella Yacoub is set to play Shishakli, a squad leader of Fedaykin. Deadline first reported the casting news. Yacoub was most recently seen in Gaspar Noé's Climax. And here we have Léa Seydoux is Lady Margo. Léa Seydoux, you might remember, she appeared in 2 of the Bond movies, Spectre and No Time to Die. I think she played Bond's love interest. She was also in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. However, hot off acclaim from Cannes Films, One Fine Morning and Crimes of the Future, Léa Seydoux was set to play Lady Margo in the upcoming Dune sequel for Legendary. And None other than Christopher Walken is the Emperor.
Rise, my friend.
It just doesn't get much better than this. Christopher Walken, man, what a ledge. Christopher Walken, who has appeared in God knows how many movies. He's been in things like Pulp Fiction. He was in True Romance, which if you haven't seen, you need to go and watch it. It was written by Quentin Tarantino and it was directed by Tony Scott, and it's awesome. He was in The Deer Hunter. He was in Batman Returns. He was in Wedding Crashers, Seven Psychopaths, and the list goes on. And now it looks like he's going to be playing the Emperor, so hot off his run on Apple TV's Severance. There's another one he was in. The Academy Award winner Christopher Walken is joining the cast of Warner Brothers in legendary sequel as Emperor Shaddam IV. He plays the ruler of the universe that initially sent the Atreides family to Arrakis to their peril, where they all wiped out. So Dune Part 2 will feature more IMAX footage. Awesome. Denis Villeneuve confirmed the sequel will definitely also use IMAX. Cinematographer Greg Fraser and I, we fell in love with this format, and definitely there be even probably more IMAX footage in this movie. Anywho, moving on next, who have we got? We have got Austin Butler, who has been confirmed to play Fide Routher. You've seen Austin Butler if you went to see the new Elvis biopic movie. He played Elvis alongside Tom Hanks, and I don't think it did very well, to be fair. Hot off Elvis, Austin Butler is making his way to Dune Part 2. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Alum is confirmed to play Fide Routher, the evil nephew of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, who's played by Stellan Fucking hell! The evil nephew of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, who is played by Stellan Skarsgård. Fucking hell. And the heir to the Harkonnen Empire. Good lad. Crack on. Florence Pugh is reportedly joining the cast. Florence Pugh might be joining the Dune sequel, as the Hollywood Reporter stated. The Black Widow alum is in talks to star as Princess Irulan. So Denis Villeneuve says shooting will start by the end of summer 2022. Well, we know it's already started this week. What he said was, I will say it is mostly designed, Villeneuve said to Empire, of the next instalment, starring Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista and Stellan Skarsgård. The thing that helps us right now is that it's the first time I've revisited a universe, so I'm working with the same crew. Everybody knows what to do. We know what it will look like. The movie will be more challenging, but we know where we are stepping, and the screenplay is written, so I feel confident. That is very good to hear. So what can we expect? We can expect a lot more House of Harkonnen. Stellan Skarsgård practically stole the Dune Part 1 show with his slimy Baron Vladimir Harkonnen mounting a coup against the House of Atreides from his inky black lair. As Part 1 gave us plenty of Atreides to chew on, Villeneuve said we should expect to see a lot more of the House of Harkonnen this time around. Okay, so where does the story go from here? I'm expecting this to give minor spoilers. If you don't want any spoilers, then either click forward or click off the video. But here goes. Dune Part 1 ends with Paul officially joining the Fremen and planning to bring peace to Arrakis. The film cuts to black as Paul and his mother, Lady Jessica, played by Rebecca Ferguson, travel with the Fremen to their home city. Paul spots one Fremen member riding a sandworm. Fans can definitely expect to see Chalamet riding a sandworm in Dune Part 2. But what else is in store? A lot, actually. If some viewers thought Dune Part 1 was plot heavy, then wait until they realise all the plots still to come in Dune Part 2. The main narrative of Part 2 will track Paul's rise to power among the Fremen and resulting rebellion against Padishah Emperor Shaddam IV. The latter character mentioned only a name in Part 1 will be perhaps the biggest new role in Part 2. So you might be wondering which cast members will return. Timothée Chalamet obviously will be back as Paul Atreides, as will Zendaya as his Fremen love interest Shani. The sequel will include a lot more of the Fremen, which means Javier Bardem will have a lot more to do as the group's leader. Anyway, as I said before, there are 6 novels in the Herbert series, so what they say here is that it might not be the last Dune movie. While Denis Villeneuve always envisioned adapting Frank Herbert's novel into a 2-part movie, he has already gone on record expressing interest in helming a Dune movie trilogy. So I'm just going to finish off with, this is just a little bit of an update on the release date. So it says that the release date gets pushed back, and I took the horrors when I read this because I thought it was going to be 2024, but it isn't. It was originally slated for October the 20th next year, but Dune Part 2 will now debut in theatres on November the 17th, folks. Yes, that's right, you heard it here. November the 17th, 2023. And I can't wait. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. I hope you have a great day. It's time for me to go now, and I shall see you on the next video. Thank you and goodbye.